What's up, everyone? This is Midnight Strike 3625, and I am back again to review another 2015 game that I never got a chance to cover. And this is going to be my review of Bloodborne for the PlayStation 4. Now, I know I have not covered a lot of PlayStation 4 games this year. The only other one that I've covered has been Dying Light. I'm going to probably get back into that and be reviewing some other things. I'm not sure if I'm going to be reviewing Dragon Age Inquisition. I still have to play that a little bit more in order to get a feel for it. I might review some definitive editions. I'm not entirely sure. Just various stuff that I missed, but there has been a lot, and I mean a plethora of amazing games for the PlayStation 4 coming out this year in 2015, and I am very, very excited to share that. And this one is probably going to be my game of the year, to be honest. Either this or Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, even though I gave Metal Gear Solid 5 a 9.5 out of 10, gameplay-wise, it was probably a perfect 10. You know, from a video game perspective, it was probably a perfect 10. But in all honesty, compared to all the stuff that Metal Gear has been and the attention to detail, I had to lower my score a little bit just because of that. So, this one is, however, graded on a different scale. This is graded compared to other games in that respective field of gaming, in that respective genre of gaming, where it's insanely difficult. It's an action RPG. You can maybe compare it to Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Skyrim or anything like that, although it is a little bit more linear than Skyrim, because Skyrim is an open world game. This one definitely delivers in every single area, and I honestly mean that from the bottom of my heart. This is an amazing game right here. Never before have I seen a leveling up system so dynamic, and the graphics are amazing, as well as every single detail showing exactly pristine what it needs to be. The character design is very flawless. It's got this gothic kind of atmosphere in the medieval times, I want to say, or in 1800s, I want to say. Victorian era kind of has that thing going for it. And it's kind of ironic because whenever I got this, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, then known as Victory, was announced as being taking place in Victorian era London. And of course this was released, and I was like, oh, wow. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Victorian era London, where it's kind of like in that 1800s, set between, you know, medieval swords and shields, and you got some weapons like guns and stuff like that. This is actually the first game from the makers of Dark Souls where they actually implement guns in this kind of game. Because the reason I say that is because in the first two Dark Souls, as well as Demon Souls, it was mainly taking place in a medieval setting. So obviously you're not going to have guns. Maybe you'll have bow and arrows and stuff like that. This game sets itself apart from the defensive nature of Dark Souls by being more offensive. Yeah, I made that joke in my Versus video, but it really is true. This game has a lot more fast-paced action. It's got a lot more action to begin with. It changes things up by making it so that your enemies can actually hang on to your souls, or in this game they're called blood echoes, until you go back to that enemy and kill them. In Dark Souls, the enemies don't take up your souls. You don't have to kill an enemy to get the souls back. And in many cases, that's a lot harder in Bloodborne, the way they do it that way, because you do not want a huge, behemoth-like enemy to take your blood echoes away, because then you're going to have to kill that boss, get to that boss without losing any health, or save up a lot of blood vials in order to replenish your health to get that far. And what I really like about it is the fact that you can actually gain lost health back simply by countering. Simply by timing your moves ever so precisely, it gives you that reward, that incentive to play strategically. And that's what I really love about this game, is it's based solely, specifically around strategy, around kind of anticipating your opponent's next move in the animations of the characters, and just everything about this, from the character design, the level design, the checkpoint system, everything is just, I don't want to say perfect, but it's amazing for sure. And the only thing that I really thought that this game was lacking, but it didn't really need, was a story. I mean, it has its lore, it has its mythos, it has its legendary creatures and monsters and stuff like that, but it really didn't have a story. I mean, of course, it did have one in the background, sort of, and the story kind of took a backseat to the gameplay, much like in Metal Gear Solid 5, but to a greater extent. But this game really did not need a story, and that is why I'm going to rate it a 10 out of 10. This is the first game since The Last of Us that I have been wanting to do so, but this game I feel definitely deserves a perfect score. Although it doesn't have a in-your-face story with, you know, cutscenes kind of shoving it down your throat, the mythos is there, the creatures are there, the lore is there. You could spend just hours reading up on this shit, and it's just a really good game altogether. Like I said, PS4 exclusive, definitely put the PlayStation 4 on the market as being a must-have console for these exclusives, along with a lot of other games that came out this year. So, in addition to this game, if you bought a PS4, you would also get all the games that came out, like, I want to say, Metal Gear Solid The Phantom Pain, as well as there was a J-Stars Victory Versus. A lot of people didn't like that one, but I actually thought it was pretty interesting and pretty neat. There's a lot of PlayStation 4 stuff on there, but like I said, this game really puts the PS4 out there on the map and does basically the same thing that Uncharted 2 did for the PlayStation 3 6 years prior to this game's release. So, like I said, 10 out of 10, amazing gameplay, amazing graphics, awesome story, and it's just so damn addicting. You just want to keep leveling up, you keep wanting to find even more powerful creatures so that you can get even more blood echoes in return, and the more you explore, the more you find, and the more paths you open up after each and every boss fight. This is an experience not to be missed, of course, if you're old enough to handle the mature rating. So, 10 out of 10, probably, like I said, my game of the year. If not for Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm not sure yet. Probably this one, though. I'm kind of leaning towards this one because it is pretty much seamless and perfect in every single way, especially after the patch that shortened load times and gave us a little bit of something to read, much like in Skyrim. So, this is Midnight Strike 3625. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of an impromptu, short, off-the-collar review. 10 out of 10, keep calm, and rock on.